It's 2020 and we're celebrating a new year, thinking of those resolutions for the year to come. However, on the other side of the world, the news isn't so great. There's a new outbreak of an unknown virus in China. In the city of Wuhan, those who are becoming ill seem to have a link to a local fish market. People are becoming seriously ill, and cases continue to rise and spread. The World Health Organization then announces that this is a new coronavirus. The news that no one wanted to hear, that the outbreak is a global pandemic. Testing ramps up around the world. Governments provide guidance to the best they can. Travel plans are halted. Despite these measures, more and more people become ill. We see our first case in the bubble of St. Andrews. Then,
we will beat the coronavirus, and we will beat it together. And therefore, I urge you, at this moment of national emergency, to stay at home, protect our NHS, and save lives. Thank you.
For everyone, you must stay at home unless it is absolutely essential to go out, and that includes working from home wherever possible. Life should not feel normal for you right now, so if it is, then you are not doing the right things, and I want to ask you today to please put that right.
Well, let's start with the positive. I work in the press office, which is part of corporate communications. And we were very lucky in that we all just picked up our laptops and went home and carried on as normal. Comms was always set up so that we were always all in comms, if you know what I mean, whether it was phones or tablets or laptops. So we just picked up our goods and chattels, headed home, set up at home. We took some monitors and things like that with us just to make life a bit easier, but we can all work from home pretty much 24/7 quite easily. So that was the good part. What we've all missed, I think, well, I know because we've talked about it, is the banter in the office. The press office is a fun place to work. It can be challenging. It's never dull. And there's some interesting stuff goes through one way or the other. And we all got on very well and have had a really good laugh, you know, as well as being, you know, working hard and feeling, you know, the stress sometimes. We could break it up with jokes and laughter. And I know we all miss that. So that would be the negative. To be honest, it's not been that difficult for us. I have a husband and a son, and my husband could work from home a bit like myself. They just all went home with their laptops and carried on. And so he set up in the home office, which we had anyway. I set up in the guest room. And we've just carried on, really. We didn't go out that much anyway. I mean, we like to go out for a meal and round to friends, and so we missed that, obviously. But we did things like Zoom chats, Zoom drinks and chats, and music quizzes, and you know, things like that with friends and family. So that filled in quite a lot of the social gaps. And my son was in his last year at school, so he didn't sit any exams. But luckily, he'd been given a place at Fife College to do computer game design, which he's now doing, and it's all online. So I think we've been very lucky. It hasn't affected us work-wise or health-wise. My son and I have asthma, and so my husband did all the shopping, and Jake and I would really just go out to walk the dog once a day. But it was hard on people like my mum, who lives on her own, and couldn't see us. Excuse me, and we couldn't see her. And we did try a few Zoom meetings, but she's 80, and there was one fun one where all we could see was her mouth upside down on the screen. So it was like an upside down mouth, and that was just not good. Really, it's entertaining but not much fun. So that was difficult for my mum. But we spoke on the phone every day, and then as soon as we could, I think it was the first weekend in June, she came round and we formed a bubble, and so we can see her now, which is good. Well, yes, I would say a couple of things. So one was because of these Zoom social chats, I actually ended up getting in touch with people that I hadn't for years and years, people that we kept in touch with Christmas cards and, you know, the odd postcard, friends in Hong Kong and friends in America. And we had video chats, and it was absolutely brilliant, because we hadn't done it for years. So that was really good. Friends down in London, I lived in London for a long time. So that was a real positive that came out of it. And also, I spent more time cooking and learning some new recipes, and actually having the time to cook. I used to come home from work in the evening and all I wanted to do was, you know, stick a pizza on or whatever. But now my husband and I meet in the kitchen sort of after work and try and cook something nice for dinner. So there's a couple of positives, really. I think the keeping in touch with people far and wide, really. I thought we've kept that going even when lockdown eased, and we were able to meet up with closer friends. We've still kept the sort of Zoom drinks going, and you know, WhatsApp drinks with people that are further afield. So I'd like to keep doing that. I think we will keep doing that. Yeah. So that's been really nice, and we would carry on. There's no reason to stop doing it. So that's what I'd like to take forward, really. And also, I think working from home some of the time, which we've spoken about across the uni, what will it be like when lockdown is over? And I think a lot of people are feeling that it would be good to work from home some of the time and take a bit of pressure off uni buildings, take a bit of pressure off the environment and the parking in St Andrews and all of that, you know. So you're still getting into just to enjoy the banter some days, but other days you get a day at home and can be a bit more flexible. Probably just to make more effort to get out more. Um, because I like staying at home. So I haven't really hated lockdown. In fact, people who know me are sort of a bit concerned about how much I like lockdown, because I quite like being at home or around the home, you know, in the garden or walking the dog. But I think I would have said to myself, do try and do what you can. If all you can do is a walk and, you know, on a beach or in a park, make sure you do it. Don't just not do anything. I would say more of my advice going forward to myself, not so much that I would change what I did from March to now, other than to do more physically. But going forward, I would say to myself to do more, just to do more. It's very easy to go to work and come home and put your feet up and watch the telly, and there's so much going on, and through lockdown it was great because there were lots of things that moved online, and I tried to watch movies that I'd never seen before in languages that I didn't understand, and you know, log on to lectures by some of our amazing academics, and visiting professors and all the rest of it. And I would say to myself and to anyone going forward, do so much more of that. It's all there, and a lot of it's free. And it's just so fascinating what the university is doing, what people are doing that you wouldn't hear about in your everyday job. keep an eye on the events calendar and try and go along to whether it's virtually or physically, to a lot of the events that the uni organises, because there's some really amazing stuff out there. But oddly enough, I have seen more colleagues this way, because we were in the Butte and I didn't get out and about much. My job's fairly, sedentary. And so I would email or chat to people on the phone. But now we do quite a lot of Teams calls and Teams meetings, and I've actually seen more people than I did when I worked at the Butte, which is quite interesting.